episode 67. And welcome to the Bench is Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I'm Tyler Coe, and I represent the 2020 World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. I just had to throw it in there.
No confidence.
Since we're not in first place, I had to throw it out there.
And I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the first place team in the NL West, the San Francisco Giants. We're not going to talk much about the Giants today, but I mean, maybe we will. Who knows? Who knows what we might get into? But we do have a very special episode today, Tyler.
Yes, we have a very special guest. Dodger fans are going to be super excited. Giant fans probably not so much, but you're still going to want to tune
excited. I'm still excited.
One of the key pieces of the Dodger-Giants rivalry in the history of this rivalry.
Yeah. I mean, even if like you're a Giants fan, like you have to respect, legends and what they have done. But not only that, after they retire and they're not currently killing your team, you can kind of appreciate things and nerd out about baseball with anybody. So
yeah, absolutely. When this band came in, when that song came over the loudspeakers, the Giants knew that it was game over. Today we have the 2003 Cy Young Award winner, Eric Gagne. And now, welcome to the podcast, famous Dodger closer, Eric Gagne. Eric, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So just jumping in, we all know you hold the major league record with 84 consecutive saves spanning from 2002 to 2004. During that historic span, when did you kind of first figure out that your stuff was elite? Going from 55 saves, 55 out of 55 in 2003. When did you know that, you
basically
had elite
bringing
stuff?
Me and my family a lot of pain.
Trust me, I feel it. The funny thing is, well, before we get into that question, I'm gonna get to why I took that podcast. I think that's a great idea. You guys have, good two humongous rivalry, and everybody asked me after my career was over, and like, hey, what do you miss the most? These things like that. I miss the rivalry. I miss going to San Fran, getting booed. I miss playing against Barry at Dodger Stadium and facing. We tried to pitch around him every time we pitched one ball over the plate. He crushed it. So I think it's pretty cool.
Exactly.
But I think that's cool. That's a really cool concept.
I appreciate that, man.
That's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Yeah,
that's why I want to be part of this. Yeah, I never, for the crazy thing when I became a starter, I became a closer, I wasn't very successful as a starter. I knew, I'm a hockey player. I like to go very all out, 100% effort. And I think when I became a closer, that really fit my personality a lot better. And I think that's when my stuff came out a lot more. And of course, pitching one inning, it's a lot easier than going 6-7 innings or trying to pace yourself. And I was able to go out. My body responds better under pressure. I think it's, a short spurt. I think I'm better that way. And I think it fit perfectly. I mean, Jeff Shaw just retired. I mean, there's an open spot in the bullpen, and there's basically a bullpen by committee early. And we had a lot of good guys. I mean, a lot of good veterans, a lot of really good mix of players. So, I didn't really realize right away it was going to be, I got elite stuff. I knew I had really a lot better stuff as a reliever because just short spurt, I threw harder. My stuff was a little bit sharper. I didn't have to use 3 pitches because I didn't like my curveball that much. I knew, it's a very different pitch than all my fastball changeup, but I didn't really have the full control of it all the time. So to me, I had to really pick my spot as a starter is a lot harder. So the elite stuff I think came out after when I became a reliever. I think it's probably the last 3 weeks of spring training. I was throwing a lot harder. I felt a lot better in short spurt. And, they say, I will try in the bullpen. I really wanted to be in the bullpen. I asked Jim Tracy and all the coaching staff to be in the bullpen. So to me, it was, it just fit my personality, fit my body. And it was just perfect. The right time. I think I was the right place at the right time.
Yeah. So speaking of the elite stuff, how did you develop the Brian Jordan dubbed Bugs Bunny changeup, or what we now know as the Vulcan change, or some even say a screwball, but we'll stick with the Bugs Bunny changeup. How did that develop?
Well, it's pretty fun that you say screwball because I think if you think about it, when I was in A-ball, I remember seeing Pedro Martinez on the sideline, and he had really long fingers, and he's really whippy with his hand. Mm-hmm. And I came really when I got hurt in 95 or 96 when I signed with the Dodgers. My first year, I got hurt in A-ball, and I really had to come up with some different. I had to come up with a pitch, and the changeup was the one pitch that really didn't change my delivery. And Edwin Correa was a coach in A-ball. I think he was in the big leagues at 18 years old. He was my coach in A-ball, and he's a really good, really, really good coach. He taught me to change up. And then I try to imitate a little bit Pedro Martinez when he pitched in Montreal, and that was my pitch, and I was trying to really come up with something different. The only difference I think is for me is I was splitting my finger a little more, so it was almost like a split finger with the two fingers right here. Not quite a split, but it was more like a fork ball with the two middle fingers. And to me, it was just throw as hard as you can, really loose wrist, and just let her rip. And that became my pitch because I think it really looked like my fastball. And it's funny how you call it a screwball because I really know I'm a huge fan of Fernando, of course. And when you watch Fernando pitch, that's kind of what he threw. He had a little bit of weird screwball. It's a sinker ball, but he was really pronating his left arm. And I think that's kind of where I got this, like watching Pedro just kind of stay on top of the ball. And they used to teach be under. And for me, it was just stay on top. And it was actually the opposite of what they're trying to say. So to me, I just got it there. Edwin Correa showed me an A ball. And then I just try to copy Pedro Martinez. And it's a little bit of, like you said, a little bit of a screwball movement. Type of
right. It's a little bit of a mishmash of a bunch of different pitches.
Exactly.
But it obviously worked out.
Yeah, it was my body. I mean, everybody's got different body, different fingers and everything. We're all huge on data right now, but I think it just fit my finger and I threw as hard as I could and just had really good result with it.
Yeah. So during that time, during the years being the Dodgers closer, there was there were so many iconic things. The glasses were iconic. The walk-in song was iconic. The game over slogan was iconic. Who came up with the game over slogan? Because I remember that being, on the t-shirts with the beard. It would be on the Jumbotron.
Actually, you know what? It was actually our clubby. And he was a clubby. He was actually a bad boy way back when he became a clubby. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's an artist. He's one of those guys that had all the bobbleheads you can ever think of, all the balls. He drew a ball for me. He was a great artist, and he just came up with I don't know what you call that, the game over face, whatever you call it, a hologram or whatever you want to call it. So he came up with it, and he gave it to the front office. The front office ran with it. And back in the days, I think I want to say, was it Fox that owned us? I think Fox and Daily, and they're really big on entertainment. So they really, really went with it. And the music, it's funny because everybody asked me, Welcome to the Jungle, where did that come from? Well, that was in Montreal when they had a huge riot in Montreal with the Metallica. And I picked that. I had the same song as a starter. I mean, no one ever noticed, but that was exactly the same song I had as a starter. So I think it's just, it was our clubby. Our clubby came up with it. And, now he's still with the Dodgers. He's been there for, I don't know, probably 40 years. And he's one of the guys that no one talks about. And he's been there forever. He's seen everything. And it's, it was pretty cool because he came up with it and they just ran with it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I know we just talked about, a closer, being the closer kind of fit your personality better. I mean, is it that big a difference for you coming out of the bullpen in the ninth, knowing you have to protect the lead, then going through the starting routine a couple hours before game time? I mean, that energy, does it make that big a difference for you?
I think it's more management. I think if I would have been older as a starter, I think I would have gotten a lot better. I think I would have understood my role better. I would have really managed my emotions and my mental approach to the game very differently. As a closer, I was a hockey player, so I just did the exact same thing as I knew as a hockey player. Just go out, give everything you got, and get out. And to me, that was kind of my mentality. That's why I think I say it fit better in my personality. But I think if I would have became, and I would have been now, I think as a starter, I would do a lot better because mentally I'm a lot older. I'm a lot wiser, and I know my body a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah. But I want to say wiser. Let's just wiser than I used to be.
Right.
So it's I think it would have been a little bit different, but I think it is a big difference. I mean, coming as a reliever, it's all emotional. You're going out there, you give everything you got, and you're in a situation where you're just trying to get outs. That's all it is. You're not trying to set up the hitter for the next at bat. You're not trying to go too much into the data or to this or that. You're going to feel and emotion, and really how are you going to get an out right now? That's really all you're trying to do. And how are you trying to preserve that victory we're supposed to have? So that's all I cared about. It wasn't really a save in my mind. It was more of a preserve a victory. And, that's why I took pride in it. It was a victory. It was a game. It was a team. It was a team stats.
Yeah, definitely. So everyone should be pretty aware. I'll say all of our listeners are pretty aware of the famous Barry Bonds at bat, with the deal you guys had made in Japan, I believe it was. So besides that, what is your favorite Giants Dodger rivalry moment that you were a part of?
My favorite, I mean, there's not really one favorite. I think the first time I've ever been to to Candlestick Park back in the days, and I actually pitched in the last game of the stadium was the Dodgers. And I remember the coolest thing I think was when Tommy Lasorda gave a speech at Candlestick, and it was a great speech. And Tommy and the Giants hate each other. You know, we're raised to hate orange. You know, it's just kind of blue hates orange. It's just the way it is, and there's no way around it. And I remember watching movies when we were rained out of spring training, and it was all about, we want to win the World Series, but we got to beat the Giants. We got to win the World, but we got to beat the Giants. And I think it came from there. And I think the coolest moment I've ever seen was basically when Tommy Lasorda gave a speech at Candlestick, the last day at Candlestick Park. And I remember I still have the ball, and he got booed off the field, and he was happy, it was pretty cool because he knew what he was getting into. But just for him to get on that stage, and he knew he was just saying, thanks for the, I can't remember exactly the speech, but it was pretty cool to see that he was out there just not caring so much, but he understood that the Dodgers and the Giants it's almost like one. It's just, as much as we hate ourselves, hate each other. Yeah. On the field, it's like we live off each other, and it's pretty cool because it's like it's a huge rivalry. And when I saw that, I thought I'm like, I think it was my first or second year in the big leagues. I wasn't really in the big leagues, so it was pretty cool to see the rivalry that I've learned when I was a young player to see it live. And see Tommy Lasorda was a legend getting booed. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you experience that stuff even like in the stands. I can't go, I know that if I go down and get a Dodger dog or whatever, and I go back up, I'm getting booed the entire time I walk up.
You better watch your Dodger dog.
You're damn right. You're damn right. You're getting
and
booed.
It's fun, I love it.
It's gonna be drop it on the floor a couple times.
Yeah, especially growing up and sitting in the left field pavilion when Barry was playing left field. I mean, you're getting booed mercilessly. And that's the way it should be, and that's the way it always will be.
And I think that's what makes it so special. I mean, I understand, it sucks to get booed, and we want to keep the rivalry friendly, but still, like, it's not exactly. I think it's more like you go back and forth, and that's what baseball beauty is all about. I mean, I remember when I was young, I was in Quebec, Montreal, Canadian. I'm a Canadian fan. My whole family, my mom is from Quebec City. I mean, it was red Montreal and blue. We drink different beers. If you drink a Molson, you're a Canadian fan. A Labatt, you're a Quebec fan. And it was that way. And then my family was all from Quebec, and I was born in Montreal, so I was a Montreal Canadian fan. So it's pretty intense. But that's exactly what it feels like to be a Giant in the Dodger rivalry, it's so cool because I know they talk about all rivalries and everything. I mean, this rivalry goes back to New York. I mean, it goes back a long, long way, and it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and it kind of steamrolls into our next question, which I already think I know the answer. But you were a member of the 2007 Boston Red Sox, so you were part of that rivalry. So you've been a part of the two biggest rivalries in baseball. Which do you prefer? And I think I know the answer, but I just want to.
Well, I know exactly what I should answer, and it's the truth. In my opinion, it's 100% a Dodger. I mean, I was bred to be, to beat up on the Giants. That's just how it is. The funny thing is, when I was with the Rangers, I had a no-trade clause for I can't remember how many teams or whatever. But the Red Sox was one of the teams I wanted to be part of because I want to be part. First, I want to win the World Series. I thought it was exactly what it represented. Like it was a little bit more like me, a blue-collar team and blue-collar city, and I felt like it was right. I felt like I would fit in. I knew Alex Cora, I knew all the guys that big puppies. So I felt like I'd fit in that team, and I got traded there, and I felt that rivalry, and I didn't do very well over there. I got booed a lot. So I got,
but you got the ring, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all I care about right now. But but it was really cool because I've been part of the best rivalries you can think in baseball. The Dodgers and the Giants and the Red Sox and the Yankees. I mean, not a lot of people can say that. And I think it's pretty cool. And I've been part of two of the greatest organizations in sport. I won the World Series, and I wish I would have had a blue World Series with the Dodgers, but
me too.
Maybe later on I'll get some piece of it somehow.
Yeah, right. But I mean, and you were in in the eras that you were in, Barry Bonds and the Giants, and then Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez of the Yankees. I mean, those are two of the biggest eras in both those teams' histories. So I mean, you might be the only guy that has that kind of perspective on those rivalries, which is super neat.
I don't know. It's just cool. I mean, you see those. You got Pebble Bond was my closer when I came from the Rangers, and I mean, I've played in so many good teams. I mean, I was lucky. I had a really good career. A lot of people like to look at it. I was able to win a World Series. I know I didn't do good over there, but that was so cool to just basically. I was getting booed at a World Series parade, which is hard, but I came up with a Yankee shirt and it said Yankee suck on it. So I would put that up. And I would get cleared. I would get standing ovation. So
and the boos just turned into cheer.
Exactly. I became a hero overnight to say Yankee suck.
Right.
No, it's really cool to be part of those because I think, that's what drives the fans. I mean, that's what brings the fans to the stadium. He had the teams and the players, the rivalries and all that cool stuff that comes with baseball and sports. I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of shifting gears here real quick. It's been well documented this season. Major League Baseball is facing somewhat of a controversy with the foreign substances. And I've seen your opinion about it before the season started, but has your opinion changed at all knowing that, guys aren't just using sunscreen and rosin. They're not just using pine tar. They're using Pelican grip and spider tack, which is used for lifting Atlas stones, using stuff that's a little bit more crazy and a little bit more sticky than just pine tar. Have your opinions changed on that at all, or is it still kind of the same?
You know what? I think, to be honest, I don't really know what they're using. I've never had to use it. I like the gum. When we go to Colorado, it's very hard. San Francisco, you don't need it. It's super humid, so you don't need it there for me on my changeup. But I understand why they use it. The thing is, and you got to understand, they want spin rate. They want all that stuff. They want all that. It looks good on TV. And when they show that spin rate and everything else, they value spin rate. So, I mean, all they need to do is very simple. Make sure the balls are tacky enough. Make sure the balls are under control for the pitchers. If they're too slickery, where I think they've been a lot different. I've been to spring training in the ball field. They're a little different. So they just need to make the ball feel the same. Make sure that the balls are under control. There's rosin behind the mound. There is rosin right there. Why don't they make some substance that everybody agrees with? Hey, all we're trying to do is we're trying to control the ball so it doesn't hit you in the face or this or that. So I understand you don't want to have like a ball that just sticks to your finger. That's crazy. I mean, we all understand that's crazy on both ways. I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous not just because it goes harder, because it doesn't always. Because last year or 2 years ago, I was a pitching coach in Nashville. And I would try out their stuff. I'm like, I don't understand. And if it's too sticky and you're in the humidity, you can't feel the ball. So there's two ways to this. There's a way to say, I understand you want more spin rate, but it's more for the breaking ball, I think it's more for that. I understand that. And I get why the guys would want it. And if the balls are super slippery and the balls are not rubbed the right way, you throw those balls away. The umpires get mad at you. They don't call those strikes. So there's got to be a certain way. Just sit down, talk about it, understand, hey, the guys are trying to get a better grip, which is very normal. If you have a bat and you go out there, you're not allowed batting gloves. You're not allowed whatever it is. It's not about the hitters or the pitchers. It's about doing what's right for the game, the best of the game. And that right now, it's just, I think it's stupid. I think it's a small detail. And all the guys are trying to do is trying to get a better grip on the ball. And the balls are probably more slick than they used to be. They're not probably, they are more slick and they're not rubbed the right way. So there's got to be something to do. It's pretty great at a game. Let's just get together. And so it's something that all the pitchers agree. Hey, let's get better grip. Let's make sure we don't hurt anybody. It's all about getting the game in the best place. And let's do that. I mean, I think it's simple. I think it's understandable that now, I don't know why it's coming out now, but it's been around forever.
Yeah.
That's the strange part about it, but whatever.
Yeah. And that's when they said they were just gonna, get information and figure it out. And then all of a sudden mid-season, they're like, now we're gonna start handing them suspensions and start suspending minor league players.
I know, suspending well, I don't really understand what they're trying to do, and I don't think anybody does. I think all they need is say, hey, we're trying to make the game better. We're trying to make sure our players are safe. Player safety. Let's all sit together and figure something out. Very simple. Yeah, hey, it could be where the balls are tackier, because 2 or 3 years ago they got balls that was a lot. I think it was Japanese ball. I think they talked about. There's a little more something on it. It was a little different, but the balls are tackier. You don't need anything if you have that, or make a little substance that if you need it, if you want it, you can use it. It's on amount, like a rosin. There's a reason why the rosin is there.
Yeah,
anybody knows why the rosin is there?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the easiest way would just be, pine tar is it's a substance that's already on the field. If someone has pine tar in their glove, on their belt, or, at that point, they wouldn't even really need to hide it. Pine tar is not going to give you that huge uptick in RPM, and it is going to give you enough tack to make sure your ball's not slipping at 100 miles an hour towards some guy's head. It just seems like kind of the easy solution, but now it's become so convoluted. Now it's just going to be so blown out of proportion and become this huge issue. So
I think they'll figure it out. I mean, it's not that big. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think, it sucks that guys are being singled out. That really sucks.
Right.
I think it shouldn't be that way. And I think those guys have been singled out. They don't know what to say because they don't, it's just got to be take care of it. Just like make sure you understand, hey, this is something that we're trying to make the game better. That's very simple. Right. And if there's a substance or something, and whatever it is that we can use to help everybody not get hurt, that's very simple.
Yeah.
And I think if it's good, if it's done to control the batting average or control we have more runs, that's not the right way to do it. We need to do it because we're on player safety. Very simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do this thing at the end of our interviews. We like to call them softball questions. They're basically rapid fire.
I got time. Go for it. I got time.
All right, let's hit it. All right. If you could face any hitter currently in the big leagues, who would it be?
Who would I like to face? I would love to face Trout just to see if I could get him out.
Mm-hmm.
No, not with my stuff today. My stuff back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Of course. We're talking elite peak Eric Gagne stuff.
We didn't talk about the berries at bat, but I think that's why I liked it so much because I got beat by the best in the world and the best I ever walked the face on the earth, I think. And that's, I think to me, it was the best time of my life. We didn't want to talk about that, but I think a guy right now, the best player on Ohtani is a different breed. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it because it's just a different cat. I mean, to do that stuff, but it's different. Yeah, but I think just to face a hitter to face the base hitter, I think probably be facing Trout, a guy like that. And, just to see what it's like, where does he have holes and how can I get him out? That's a great challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I know you're a huge Canadiens fan. Do you think your hometown Montreal Canadian fan or Canadian team has what it takes to beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights to go to the Stanley Cup?
I'm not going to answer that question because I'm not going to jinx them.
Okay.
I'm not going to answer that question at all. I'm not even going there. I'm going to be watching every game, every minute of it because I'm so happy. I'm so happy they're doing good because nobody expected it and they're a great team. And I think it's and especially in Montreal, they need it right now. It's fun to watch. I need it. It's going to be fun to watch them against Vegas Knights. And, I hope they win the Stanley Cup. And I think it's been a long time. It's one of the best. It's the best franchise, I think, in sports, them and the Yankees. And I think they're the two best franchises you can ever talk about. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with. And I think it'll be a great time if they could.
Yeah. Even though their last Stanley Cup appearance was beating the Los Angeles Kings.
That was all when I was like exactly 2 years old. When it was.
Yeah, I was only 2 years old, so I'm not too upset about it. And I am rooting for Tyler Toffoli. I would love to see him win another cup. So, and it makes it easy because of how they redid the divisions this year. I get to root for an Eastern Conference team in the Western Conference Finals, and I hate the Knights. So this is an easy one for me. So I'm hoping they can pull it out, but we'll see. Speaking of Montreal, do you think Montreal will ever get a major league team, whether it be expansion or I know we've talked, there's been talk about the Tampa Bay Rays possibly playing half their games in Montreal. Do you think that'll happen? And do you think Montreal is the right market for a new MLB expansion team?
I think they deserve a second chance. I really do. I think it's, now with the different the way that baseball makes money now, it's totally different than it used to be. It's the land. It's totally changed. I think they deserve a second chance. I think there's a lot of fans. There's so much history with Jackie Robinson being from, I played in Montreal. We got, the Montreal, there's so much history. Baseball is loved in Montreal. I think it has to have the right team, has to have the right recipe, the right owners, the right front office. But I think they will. I really believe they will. I think they deserve a second chance.
It would be interesting to see, that's for sure.
We can all three go in on it right now, and we can just own a team.
Well, I like the idea. There you go. I like the idea of them getting an expansion team. I think it would be better for them to basically start from scratch instead of whatever the Rays were playing half the games there. I think it would be best to see them just get a new team and start fresh. I think that would be the way.
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think really that'd be kind of cool to see the Montreal Expos back. And I mean, if you play against AL East, it'd be kind of cool. I mean, you talk about the Yankees, talk about the rivalry with Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, that would be kind of cool. I would love to see it. I mean, there's a lot. I'm a Expo fan, so I mean, I'm not the right guy to ask. I'm going to say yes, they will, and they should, and they should have never left. So.
Yeah, right.
Right.
All right. Regardless of sport, who's your favorite athlete currently? Any sport, who's your favorite athlete at the moment?
Currently, it's Shohei Ohtani. It's so impressive what he does. I mean, we talked a little bit about it. I mean, I don't understand how you can be such a good athlete. I don't get it because I thought I was a good hitter. I thought I was a good hockey player. I thought I was a lot of things. And I just became a closer for one inning. I couldn't even be a starter in the big league. And that guy's a starter. He hits bombs, and you say, I'm pretty sure he's a good hockey player too. So I don't like him. I just admire him.
I mean, it's crazy because I remember growing up thinking guys like Darren Dreifert being like, that guy can hit for a pitcher. Exactly. And now it's like Shohei Ohtani. It's like that guy can hit for a hitter.
Yeah. He could be a pinch hitter. Like Double D could be a pinch hitter. He was hurt and he was coming back from time to time. Like Drive could be a pinch hitter. Like, man, that guy is a number 4 hitter. DH, he plays out, I mean, whatever. He'll play everywhere. He'll be an all-star at every position. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's like everybody talks about baseball going back and bad, I'm like, there's so much talent right now in this game. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if people don't really enjoy what they're watching right now, I mean, I don't understand what they're looking at because it's really cool to watch. It's a really fun game to watch. I mean, it's more exciting than ever. You got those kids coming out just pimping everything. There's kids that like don't know what they're doing half the time, but it's pretty funny to see. Right? Yeah. Like as an old guy, you're like, man, I would not ever. Like, that guy's gonna get hit in the kneecap. That guy's gonna get in the back, right? But it's fun to watch. It's exactly what it should be because it's entertainment. It's fun. It's like the fans get involved in it and they get in love with those players instead of just the team. It's fun to see team. You fall in love with a team. You got to fall in love with 2, 3, 4, 5 players. That's how you really grow your brand, and that's how you really grow your fan base. And I think now it's a really good time to see the game, watch the game because there's a lot of young elite stars.
Yeah, who would you want to pimp the home run off of? That's because it seems like you really want to throw a bat. So I really want to know who you want to get.
Who would I pimp it off of? Let's see.
This thing's 500 feet.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would pimp it. I don't know what I would do. I would probably dance a little bit. That's what I was talking about. Like you should have an option where you can trot your home run or whatever speed. Like what's the average speed of a home run? 25 seconds, 20 seconds around the bases, whatever it is. So you know what? You got 15 seconds. We're gonna speed up the game. 15 seconds, do a dance. And just dedicate that dance to a fan. There you go. You don't have to run
that way no one's missing first.
Yeah, exactly. So now my thing is not working anymore because guys miss first base on purpose. So I'm like, oh my God. You gotta go back. You got time. You got the whole
right.
Like an hour.
Yeah. See, that's why baseball is the best. That happened the other day. I don't think I've ever seen that. You can just watch a game on any given day and see something that hasn't happened in 150 years.
Eric Soga dove over a base. Like he was sliding into first base. He beat it, but he went over, like his hands went over the base and was out. Like he would have been safe if he touched it with his hands, but he went over it and touched it with his foot on his way back. It's insane.
Yeah. Baseball is beautiful, man. You watch the game now. You have a chance to watch every single game too every day. Like I'm actually watching 3 or 4 games at a time. You can talk about, hey, who's going to get an out here and there. Yeah. It's so much fun. I mean, it's if it's not just talk about the game only, because the game, if you really sit there, not everybody's attracted to a slow game like this. But there's so many stories. I remember Vin Scully talking about it was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, it was so cool to really get into the game, like into the granular level. You're talking about like not just Eric Gagne getting a strikeout, but Eric Gagne trying to get a strikeout, Eric Gagne facing this guy, the story behind it, the Barry Bonds.
Right.
Yeah. That's what makes baseball interesting. I mean, we're trying to change all the rules just to get better guys, better narrators.
Yeah, right.
Talk about baseball the right way. That's it. I mean, there's so much happening.
Right.
We have so much time to tell a story between each pitches. Just get interesting people to talk about it.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of like these announcers sometimes too, like that, like are kind of part of the older generation and like they just like hate what's going on with baseball right now and they're just mad like we've never seen the hit. When's the last time you seen the hit and run? Which it's what we grew up with and it's true.
Cool, but it is true. They're not wrong.
But at the same time, it's like how many times can you say it? Like, I like conversations like this where we are obviously in love with the game. We're in love with what we're watching. Yeah. Would it be cool to see a hit and run? Would it be cool to, see these things that we used to see? Yes. But at the same time, this is pretty cool too.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things happen in baseball. It's like it's a chess game. I mean, there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do the way I'm trying to get an out this year would be very different than 10 years ago. So I mean, and that's how it should be all the time. Like, because I'm making an adjustment, hitters are making an adjustment. Everybody should make an adjustment, not just us on the field. I mean, announcers and everybody else. I know, it takes your time, and you got to go baby steps. I think the game is on a great path. I think the game is it's a great game. It's beautiful. It's just, again, it's a slow game that really you can talk about, you can explain to the fans, can really get into really all the details of the granular level, the details of the game. It's beautiful. But if you don't know what you're talking, you don't have anything to talk about. Well, it's boring.
Even like today, I tuned into the Mets game, not only because they're playing the Padres, but just to watch Jacob deGrom pitch. I mean, we're
exactly. That's what I was watching right here. That's why I'm excited. Yeah. That's the reason I got to go.
I mean,
that's exactly but that's what it's all about. Like, see these guys pitch, goes 101 mile on the black, on the outside, on the righty, down and away. He can do this all day, and it's like it's just beautiful to watch. I mean, this is art. Yeah. Like, it's an artist just painting corners. It's like all day, and it's fun to watch. And I think it's important to have those moments. I understand how hard it is to throw that fastball. Not that it's 105, but that's it on the black, and it just keeps repeating. It's like throwing darts. I mean, that's hard to do. And this is what people are missing. It's not that easy to do. And I think that's what attracts people, is how rare it is to be able to see a guy like deGrom. You're not going to see that. I have never seen anybody does that, like someone that does something like that. I mean, it's the best pitcher I've ever seen in my life, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that answers the next question, was who do you think's the best current pitcher in baseball? We all kind of knew the answer.
I have never seen anything like it, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about. I mean, that's hard. I mean, it's hard to say. Roger Clemens got 7 Cy Young, and I mean, I've never watched him day to day. I'm not going to say, because I haven't really had a chance to see. Because now we can watch 15 games in a row, and then you have all the screens and everything. You have so much input in it. That's easy, but 7 Cy Youngs. I mean, watch Randy Johnson pitch. A guy like Kurt Schilling. Kurt Schilling was one of the guys who was just darting on the corner, outside, inside. I mean, this was just art. I mean, you see these guys just paint. It's pretty fun. That's why we call him painting. He's artists. I think that's why you watch deGrom pitch. This guy is just an artist. You watch him, you're like, he could do anything he wants. You just go, I saw him pitch 5 sliders in a row to, I think it was Myers and the Padres. I'm like, he could have thrown 5 fastballs in a row. He still had no chance. It's just the thought about just doing it. It's beautiful. It's fun.
And he can hit. He can hit too.
How about that?
He had 2 ribbies today. I mean, he can hit.
He's going to have more RBIs than runs given this year.
Yes, seriously. That ERA is going to be that ERA is going to be absurd at the end of the year.
Yeah, ERA versus batting average. I've never.
We're going to figure that out.
Batting average or versus ERA.
Yeah.
What's his batting average right now?
Oh, I think it's like 375.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
really?
I can
so
pull it up right here.
You think his batting average will be better than his ERA? Let's say, like, give him like a 50-point over the batting average. He's at 3 or whatever. Is he going to be better than? That's a tough one.
Right now, his ERA is.
I mean, he can give up a 5 spot.
He's batting. His average is 400.
He can give up a grand slam on a 1 bad slider, and his ERA goes up to like 1.5.
Yeah, but he, as of right now, he is batting 400. His ERA is 0.56. Yeah. So with that 50,
I think he might be under 400 given up. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say. Right.
But I mean, you forget that he was a shortstop in college. I mean, he is a
college.
hitter.
I mean, we're talking about big leagues. I mean, it's hard to hit in the big leagues.
I know, but
I understand the hitters who complain about pine tar. I understand why they complain, because it's hard. It is hard. That
hardest thing to do in
sports.
It's
like a little. I got a home run I talk about, but I mean, my first at bat, I don't know if it was my first at bat. I remember facing Carlos Zambrano, and that guy was ridiculous. And he was throwing 98 sinkers. The ball was, I'm like, ball looked like so small. I'm like, who hits that? I mean, it's not that it's hard, and it moves. So
do you just go up there with a mentality of like, I'm just going to throw the bat out there and hope something
I don't care
happens?
about your mentality. You can't see the ball. It's like, it doesn't matter. I don't even
well, no, I'm saying you.
I'm
I'm saying you personally, when you were going out to the plate Was your mentality just throw the bat out there and hope something happens?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was a good hitter, but I'm like, man, you got to shorten it up, put the foot down, let's go, because it was fast. It was coming fast. I mean, I was a third baseman on the national team. I faced 90, 92 miles an hour, but I didn't face 96 with sink. And then a slider, just wipe out slider. I've never seen that. I was like, wow, this is impressive. I'm like, I don't need to be that good on the mound. I'm like, I want to hit. That's why I think it's good to have pitchers hit. I mean, it makes you realize how hard it is to hit, because it's not easy. It's the hardest thing you can ever do in baseball, and not in baseball, in the world, is to hit a baseball. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at golf. I play golf. I'm a huge golf guy, but my gosh, golf is hard because you're trying to do this and this and that, but the ball's not even moving.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not even moving.
Well, then it's like in hockey, you have to do all that stuff, and you're on skates. You're on ice skates.
But you're moving. But then you're moving. Then you're trying to control the puck. That's pretty impressive. But if someone would throw a puck at you, and then you're skating, got to hit it. That'd be hard.
Yeah,
that would be a little bit hard.
Now we're talking about athletes.
I'll give you that.
Maybe Shohei
Ohtani can do that.
Yeah,
Shohei can do it.
Yeah, Shohei's just a closet hockey player.
Yeah,
he's just a top 6'4" kind of guy.
Yeah, we need to bring Nike back. Say anything you can do, Shohei can do way better than you.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So instead of the bow nose, it's Shohei does. He does everything.
Shohei does it. Anything you do, Shohei does better.
Yeah. I got two more for you. If you had to go back and do it all over again, if you had to change your song coming in from the bullpen, what would it be if you had to?
That's a good question. I wouldn't, if I had to, like, no, okay, I can't say no, I would not have done. It would probably be Nirvana. I can't remember the name of it. Nirvana. It would be probably Nirvana.
Okay.
What's the name of it? The one song Nirvana sings.
Smells Like Teen Spirit, probably.
Smells
like Teen Spirit. Yeah, that'll be it.
Okay.
That'll be it.
All right, and lastly, the question that everyone's dying to know: what are your favorite toppings on poutine?
Poutine? Oh my god, That's straight up normal. Nothing, anything.
Just gravy and cheese curds.
Curd, cheese, and gravy, and it has to be very different gravy. It's not just any. It's just very different. And then curd cheese, it cannot be Wisconsin cheese. It's different. I don't know why. It does have the squishy on it. So, and poutine is the best thing ever by far.
So you don't go for the bacon or anything like that. You just keep it OG.
No French Canadian do it. I mean, you'll do it if you've had like 4 during that week. If you went out too much that week and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, put the bacon and sausages. But no, a real French Canadian, I believe, in my opinion, would probably just have regular poutine, old school.
Okay, I have some French Canadian friends, so I'm gonna have to tell them that they suck. And they don't know what they're talking about.
Like, where they're from? They gotta know where they're from, though. If they're from Quebec, they're exactly answer what I'm saying.
We'll see, because I had it on good authority that bacon is acceptable. So now I'm gonna have to grill.
Of course, anything on a poutine is acceptable. You can put any mayonnaise, ketchup. You can put relish. You can put cheese. You can put whatever you want. You can put whatever you want on the poutine. But if you want a real poutine, I understand what it feels like. Wake up the next day with a poutine belly. That's just the original poutine. That's it.
Awesome.
Damn, Eric. Well, we could do this all day, man. We really appreciate your time. This was awesome. It's awesome to see, like someone, because I mean, a lot of times when someone does something professionally, they like to like really geek out about other things. Like, we geeked out about hitting and stuff, but to see that you're still like just closer, like geeking out, and that like you have your background back there is really cool to see. And that, how, excited you are talking about the game. We really appreciate you coming on. My wife and her family are huge Dodger fans, so they're really excited that we were having you on. They wanted me to tell you thank you for all the good times. So, like I said, we appreciate it. We hope to, we could sneak you back on at some point later down the road. And yeah, man, this is awesome.
That was fun, guys. I appreciate it. That was great. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you to our very special guest, Eric Gagne, for being on the podcast. We hope you all enjoyed it.
Man.
This episode was brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where summer candles are available now. Go ahead to their website and check them out.
Available to you. Yeah, make sure to get some candles. And while you're on the internet, in the interwebs, Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit those bells. Help us grow. Make sure to write us a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Benches Cleared P, Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast, and we're doing dances on TikTok at Benches Cleared. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you. I guess it wouldn't be later this week
in episode 68.